Howdy, welcome to the Handyman channel. Today I'm going to show you how to change the orifice on a gas oven bake burner and also how to adjust the shutter on the bake burner for ideal flame. And as always, before working on an appliance, you should unplug. So you want to change the orifice on your oven. You want to switch it from propane to gas, natural gas, or you want to switch from natural gas to propane. I'll show you how to do that. Happens to be a Whirlpool. Model is that one. First thing you're going to do is take the racks out and then take the oven floor out. Let's do that. This one takes a Phillips bit to unscrew a couple of screws from the back here. You just lift this. Out of the way. And you can see this. Got the burner tube here. That's the igniter. That's a spark style igniter. There's a glow bar type also. At the end of this burner tube, it connects down to an orifice. I'll pull the burner tube out and show you that. Get the burner tube out. There's a couple of Phillips screws. Good. Washer. And then this just lifts up and comes out. Now I'm still connected with the spark module back there. Let me show you. I took out this front screw, this back screw, and then this just lifts up. And then this comes off like that. But I'm still connected electrically to the igniter you can see back there. And I'm just gonna move that out of the way and show you down in there. Let's see if we can see the orifice right down there. So that is the part we would change. It'll take a nut driver, I think it's about 10 millimeter or so. And you unscrew that orifice, which I'll do here in a minute, and then you can change it to the proper one. So in this case, it's set for natural gas, and I would be putting a propane, which is gonna have a little tiny, smaller hole for the orifice. Going the other way, if you're on propane, those orifice holes tend to be smaller. And when you go to natural gas, they tend to be a little bigger. They have numbers on them, and that correlates to the size of the hole. All right. Okay, I pulled the orifice out. It's a little brass piece. In my case, it was a 3/8 that got it out right down in that hole. Okay. And basically just unscrewed it. Threads. This one's got some pipe dope, some goo on it to help seal it. You see the numbers. This one has numbers 4-9. That's going to be the size. This is a natural gas orifice. And so presuming I would be swapping it out to LP, liquid propane, or if I were going back from propane to natural gas. So then basically you're going to put your new orifice in, the one you want. So a lot of times ovens come with a kit on the back, somewhere taped on the back or underneath. If not, you have to order the kit. And it would basically be these orifices. This one for the bake burner, which is down there. There would also be one for the broiler burner, which is right there. That would have been a little easier to get to. And then you also have them for each individual burner, okay? look down in the hole and you see that. Okay, so in this case I've got, you know, 4 burners on top, and then I've got this big one in the middle, so 5. And you would have a kit that would have those 5 plus the 2 down here, one for the bake burner and one for the broil. Some ovens just have 1 burner, which is used as the broiler if it has a drawer underneath in the bake. So I'm going to go ahead and put the new, we're going to say this is the new Orifice. I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to show you how you can adjust the shutter on this tube right here, this bake burner tube burner. Now when you tighten this orifice down, since it's brass and it's aluminum or some other type of metal body, you don't want to tighten it too tight. You just want to snug it down pretty good. Okay. The pipe dope is going to help it. From the way this works is you loosen that screw and then you can adjust this shutter so you have a bigger hole or a smaller hole. This one is set up for natural gas, and basically you adjust that so it's a smaller or bigger to control your flame. I have another video that shows the burner turning on and the flame. You want your flame to be, you know, like a 1/2 inch, maybe 1 inch blue with no orange on the top. I'm gonna put this back in. This just goes over the orifice. If I can see it here. It just slides right over top of it. Okay, so I got the burner back in, burner tube, over the orifice hole, over the orifice, and I screwed the screws back down, okay? And I didn't adjust my shutter this time because I already have it where I want it, but if you needed to adjust it, you could. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn on the bake. You're gonna watch it. Turn out the light. Okay, so you see how it fires up. And when it first fires up, you're gonna get some orange. That's normal, little bits of orange in the flame. But as it starts to warm up a little bit, it should be mostly blue. Okay, so I've got maybe 1 inch of flame coming out from each side, and it's mostly blue. You get little orange tips on the flames every so often, that's okay. But basically you want it to be mostly blue. Here's what the broil is going to look like when it starts up. Turn off this light. Okay, you also see you got a lot of nice big blue flame. The metal plate is the diffuser, that kind of spreads the flame out. But you have only a little orange tips every so often. By the way, if you want to take the door off to kind of get it out of the way while you're doing this, on this style, it has a little tab. You just flip this tab up and back. And over here, same thing. And then you can lift the whole oven door up until it catches, and it will lift the hinges out of the housing. So let me do that. Let those tabs lifted up. And just lift the oven up until the door catches, and lift, and pull it out. You can see the way these hinges are. When you want to put it back in, you slide it in. And then you drop it down until they kind of latch in. These guys down. And you're good to go. Okay, so I have the burner tube loose again. I took the screws out again. And I did some cleaning, which I'll tell you, if you stay to the end, I'll tell you how we cleaned this. Anyway, so I've got the burner tube loose, and I went ahead and loosened the screw for the shutter, okay? Just 1/4 inch screw in this case. Some of them are Phillips. Now, you can see how big the shutter is as far as open. If I move this, you can see I can make the hole smaller or make it bigger. So I'm gonna make it bigger first just to show you what it does. That's pretty well maxed out. That's wide open. So let's see what that does to the flame. I'm gonna turn on the bake. And let's see what we got here. So the flame is taller. I don't know if you can see it from there, but you can see it's a lot taller. There tends to be a little more orange, although it's not as easily detectable from the camera, but the flame is definitely taller. It's too tall, as you can tell. All right, let's turn it off. All right, nothing, a couple of hot pads don't help. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this shutter. This part's not as hot, this part is hot, because that's where the gas is kind of flowing through, but not really ignited until it gets up here. So I'm gonna shut the shutter most of the way. Matter of fact, I'm gonna max it shut. So it still has that much. All right, we'll snug it down and see how that does. Got the shutter shut as far as I can. It still has that little gap. Let's turn it back on and see what we get. So it's not as noticeable. The flame is a little bit lower. It didn't really affect it as much as I expected it would have, but the flame is a little lower. Okay, I've got it back to about mid-range where it was before, and it might be off a little bit. Let's just see here. So that's fully closed. That's fully open, and we're gonna put it about right about there. All right, we'll lock it down. Okay, back to normal with the shutter about 2/3 open like it was. Okay. The flame is a little bit shorter, and this is where it was set. And this is pretty good. It's mostly blue. You see a few little yellow tips every so often. All right, so that's how you do it. Okay, we're done with that. And also, just so you know, we did clean the oven. My wife's got a pretty neat trick. She uses her own homemade power wash, which is basically alcohol peroxide and Dawn dish soap. And we sprayed it down and let it soak, and then scrubbed it with a scrubby brush. And then after 15 minutes, wiped it down, and it comes out pretty clean. You can see, I mean, there's still a couple of spots, but the glass comes out good too. So we're done with that. Hopefully that was a learning experience. Also, just an FYI, if you really need to clean, if you have some really burn on stuff, you can use vinegar with a little baking soda and mix it. It's gonna foam and fizz, and let it soak for a little bit, and then scrub it with a brush and then wipe it off. That should help you without using that toxic oven cleaner.
Well, there you go. Hopefully that helps you and gives you a little bit of info. And until next time, here we are on the Handyman channel. Have a good one.